have Bob Deal back here to audit the meeting. Okay, we're good to go. All right. Ready? Okay, all right. Good evening. This regular meeting of Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 is commencing. And let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Time is 7:04 p.m. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brusher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Here.
Okay, Madam Clerk, adequate notice?
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by an annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, Desi Talk, and News India Times on November 18th, 2024, and posted in the Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Thank you very much. Council President remarks. I'm getting these from several sources here. So the first thing is I want to give an update about the shared services agreement with the animal shelter, which we just received a little while ago. The analysis indicates that fees paid by Metuchins were less than the expenses attributable to Metuchin in 2023 and 2024, partial year through September. In 2023, the shortfall was $28,149. The shortfall for January through September 2024 is $19,534. Should all variables remain constant, the projected shortfall is $26,045. Metuchin's current monthly payment is $3,064.35. The projected 2024 shortfall equals a monthly shortfall of $2,170.44. The revised monthly fee would be $5,234.79. Since October 2024, Denellen has indicated that they will not be participating in Edison's animal control program. For the partial period in 2024, Denellen contributed $20,822 in revenues, and their attributable costs were $18,075. On an annual basis, Denellen would have contributed $3,662.66 to the animal control program. Assuming that Edison's costs are fixed and not proportionally decreased, Denellen's attributed expenses would need to be reallocated to the remaining participants in the program. Expenses are attributed to participating municipalities according to the number of intakes from each municipality. And so it's a lot of numbers to throw at you, but that's just a basic outline. I attended the Human Relations Commission meeting yesterday that was honoring Women's Month. And as the guests, they had County Clerk Nancy Pinkin, County Commissioner Santi Nera, Edison Board of Ed members Virginia White and Shannon Pang, and entrepreneur Marla Fisher of the ice cream house. It was a really lovely program, and each one discussing either women in history who have made an impact on them, or in the case of Santi Nera, she took a different take on it, and she talked about just regular average women who are anything really but average. We're talking about your homemakers and such who are unsung heroes. And that the main point being that women need to always know their value. So it was a very, very nice program. There is also, I got to get this up from my phone, couple of announcements to make. So this is an important one. The Office of Aging and Disabled Services is going to be hosting a 2025 Senior Fraud Prevention Conference that's being held on March 14th, 2025 between 10:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. at Middlesex College at West Hall Parkview Room. I would give you the website, but it's a long website, and you're probably just best off if you go to Google 2025 Senior Fraud Prevention Conference, then you'll probably figure out how to register, but you do have to register. This is a discussion on common types of fraud and how to protect yourself against them, including online, phone, and door-to-door fraud. The event is for all older adults, 60 plus, caregivers, and those who serve the older adult population. So I wanted to announce that. And also, The Edison Police Department has announced that they're launching a new initiative called Help the Homeless Drive. They're collecting donations of the following items: shampoos, bar soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, socks, towels, and other hygiene products. A donation box was placed in the lobby, and it's there until March 28th for items that you may want to donate. All donations will be distributed to Coming Home in Middlesex County and will also be kept on hand for homeless individuals encountered by patrol officers in town. So you'll see that box downstairs. If you can contribute any of those things, it would be greatly appreciated. I think those are all of my remarks. And now we go to number 5, the resolution of recognition, and I'd like Councilman Patil to take part in that.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, could you read the resolution of recognition?
Whereas the Edison Visionary Lions Club was chartered on March 25, 2010, with the mission of empowering your professionals to serve their local community through hands-on services. Initially focused on supporting needs of families and empowering youth, the club has remained committed to their vision while expanding its impact through several innovative projects. Whereas since its inception, the club has served as a guiding force in the Lions community, acting as the mothership for numerous new clubs. They've also played a pivotal role in establishing 6 Lions clubs across the United States, internationally, and collectively proving service opportunities to over 1,000 individuals. Since 1917, Lions International has been made a difference in communities worldwide, offering volunteer opportunities that suit various of lifestyles. Whereas Edison Visionary Lions Club, staying true to its name, strives to provide service with a vision, not just to solve immediate problems, but to create an environment that fosters long-term solutions. Whereas the club motivates its members and partners organizations to be part of substantial solutions in their communities. Notable projects such as socials for adults with intellectual disabilities, hunger relief, vision screening, disaster relief and support, youth empowerment, support of individuals with disabilities, veteran support, international medical missions, so forth. The Edison Visionary Lions Club is one of the most decorated clubs in New Jersey and globally. It's the only club in New Jersey to hold prestigious designations such as World Class Centennial Lions Club, Visionary Model Club, Vision 1.5 Platinum Club, along with receiving the Club Excellence Award every year since 2014. Now therefore be resolved, the Municipal Council of the Township of Edison hereby acknowledges significant contributions made by Edison Visionary Lions Club and recognizes March 25th, 2025 as Edison Visionary Lions Day for their notable contributions to our community.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any public comment on this resolution? Joyce.
Joyce Ship Freeman, Edison, New Jersey. I would like to say congratulations to the club, the Lions, because when we had a Heart Health Month, Mahesh didn't hesitate to come forth and do vision checks for most people that needed their vision checked. And as I see them over and over again, as I go to the dances and the stuff that they're responsible for our disabled adults, they're always there, they're always pleasant, they're always participating in their dances and whatever thing is needed at the time. So I would like to applaud them for all their efforts, and I wish more people would be like them. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Yes, sir.
Mahesh Chitnis, Sayreville, New Jersey. I'm the founder, charter president of this club. And I'm here to thank you for all the support that you have given over the last 15 years. As mentioned, our club was chartered 15 years back in Edison. And since then, our mission is to support the needy. We did the vision screening in Edison and around surrounding areas for about 50,000 individuals in the last 15 years. We served the hungry. We served about 50,000 meals in various events, including during the pandemic, when there was a lockdown, supporting the Edison residents who needed food. We brought in the hot meals for them, and so on. We are working, but more than that, we were collaborating with the township and the councils since beginning. As former Councilman Joyce mentioned, we are part of the Recreation Department's Special Needs Dance, the Social for the Intellectual Disabilities, since 2010, 4 times a year. When the Sandy hit and we had issues of water supply in the township, Mayor Rasigliano that time invited us to distribute water. We distributed about 30,000 cases of water in South Edison, supporting the township, and various other events that we work with the council. Most of you have attended some of our events, notably to mention former Councilwoman Joyce, Lenny Sandowski. Today we don't have him here, but Joe Coyle, Ajay Patel are always there for our events. Almost every single special needs dance, we have somebody from the council to come and attend. We really appreciate what you guys do, and thank you so much. And one appeal beyond just appreciating your effort is the volunteerism improves the townships. So it's not only our association, but all the volunteers. If you encourage the citizens to volunteer in one cause or the other, especially the youth, that will help in making our community better. So thank you very much again, and we really appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Mahesh. Any other public comment on this resolution? Okay, can I get a motion to close?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please. Thank you.
Respected members of the council, mayor, and township officials, namaste. My name is Mekhala Ravishankar, a resident of Edison and a volunteer with Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, HSS USA, a 501(c)(3) non-profit organization. For over a decade, HSS has been dedicated to serving the community through various initiatives like Yogathon, Teachers Appreciation Day, food and clothing drives, and senior yoga programs. Today, I'm here to share updates of our Health for Humanity program. Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh observed the 18th annual Yoga for Health, Yoga for Humanity Yogathon, or Surya Namaskar Yagya, and this program ran from January 18th to February 2nd, 2025. Participants across all ages, genders, races, ethnicities, nationalities, and faith were invited to participate in the Yogathon to kickstart the new year with health awareness and practice. Surya Namaskar is a yogic practice and done in reverence to the sun. Research shows several physiological and psychological benefits from Surya Namaskar if practiced regularly. They are performed at a series of 10 physical postures flowing in a graceful, continuous sequence. The Surya Namaskar Yajna seeks to promote and the practice of for the benefits of all Americans aspiring for it as a fit body and balanced mind initiative. Since its inception in 2007, participants from 43 states have actively participated in the Yogathon through yoga centers, community organizations, schools and colleges, and also as individuals. Regardless of their faith and belief, these participants have performed over 4 million Surya Namaskar practice over the past several years. This is a testament to the success of the Yogathon in achieving diversity and inclusion in communities nationwide while promoting public health and well-being equitably. This year, in 2025, Edison and Woodbridge residents participated together in the Health for Humanity program in the month of January and February. Close to 22,000 Surya Namaskars or sun salutations were performed by participants, which included 16,000 men and 6,000 women and children. Compared to the last year, we had about a 75% increase in the participation across the board. HSS chapters, also known as shakas, meet regularly on a weekly basis, and we have 9 locations in and around Edison. In addition to performing these yoga practices during these congregations, families are encouraged to participate, take count of the sun salutations or Surya Namaskar poses and record them in a friendly app provided on their phone. This created a positive environment where people were able to relate to the leaderboard type of view and also track their own progress on a daily basis. While yoga has its roots from the Hindu culture, the practice itself is open and very effective and can be followed by anyone. On our SNY journey this year, we had scheduled sessions in Woodbrook Elementary School and Woodrow Wilson Middle School. On February 28th, HSS conducted an 8-hour sessions with the kids of Woodbrook Elementary School, and we had 4 sessions covering the 1st grade until the 5th grade. About 580 kids in total did the Surya Namaskar practice. We saw a lot of energy with the kids and good support from the teachers too. Each session was for 40 minutes, and we covered the activities that included warm-up exercises, Surya Namaskar poses, and sun salutation. We made 6 Surya Namaskars and few of the Yogasana postures for the 5th graders to keep them engaged.
Okay, excuse me, ma'am, your speaking time is up, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for informing the public about all your services. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Mikey.
I apologize. I just want to looking for clarification. We're not on public comment of the resolutions. This is just the resolution.
This is on this resolution about the Lions Club.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone else from the public? Okay. Motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close? Second.
Thank you very much. All right. Can we get a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt? Second.
Okay. Any council comments on this resolution? Councilman Brescher.
Yes. Listen, I'd like to thank the Lions Club and Mahesh. You've done a great job with the organization. I do follow you. What I'm impressed about most is people talk about elected officials and how we give back, and we don't really get paid really for the work that we do for the community. But your organization truly gives back to the community. You don't expect things in return. And it's really an honorable thing that you all are doing here. So I thank you for being part of it. I thank you for looking after our residents and being so much a part of our community. A lot of people don't understand what the Lions really do. And we just heard the speaker couldn't even get through a list of everything that you guys truly do, which is amazing. In fact, I was going to propose we give her an extra 2 minutes on that. But I thank you all for everything you do for our community and for Edison. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Council President?
Councilman Patel?
All I want to say is, Mahesh, thank you, and thank you to the Lions Club. You guys are a great asset that Edison has, and all the work that you do, all the benevolent work that you do, leads to great things. Even the smallest embers can ignite great fires, and I think, I remember one time you reached out to me to help out an immigrant family that came in, and you were trying to help them situate. So I understand you helped out with 50,000 meals and 50,000 vision testing, but I think even the smallest help that you do to individual families and situate them and help them integrate into our culture, into our society, into our neighborhoods, can lead to great things. And I thank you for helping out, and thank you for being the good soul. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Any other comments?
Council President?
Yes, Council Vice President.
Thank you. I'll just be brief. I just want to say thank you for all your volunteer efforts. Everything that you guys do helps make Edison better, helps make our community better and a more close-knit family. And for that, thank you.
Thank you.
Council President.
Councilman Shmuel.
Congratulations on a well-deserved honor. To be honest, I didn't know about this organization. I just got a rundown from Councilman Patel, and I'm inspired. You guys do great work. It's It's great for our community, and keep up the great work and keep up your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Patil?
I'll start with the Lions motto, where there is a need, there is a lion. That's what exactly Edison Visionary Lions Club is all about. A dedicated, a passionate group of volunteers serving the community past 15 years. And it's a great milestone to celebrate. Again, congratulations and kudos to all the members who are the backbone of the Edison Visionary Lions Club. I can go on and go on about what Edison Visionary Club is doing in Edison, whether it's a eye screening, dance with special friends, distributing the meals, helping during the catastrophes. I know Mahesh always calls when he hears something in news or listens from someone, hey, there is something happened in Edison, whether it is apartment building, it's burned out, how we can help. Or there is something somewhere happening and Lions is always there who are inquiring about how we can contribute, how we can help and support the community. Again, thank you. Again, as I said, it's a group of passionate volunteers who are supporting this organization without a pay, as my council colleague said. Again, thank you for your commendable work. And thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. I'm just looking at some fun facts about Lions Club. They were actually founded in 1917 in my hometown of Chicago by Melvin Jones. They have, as of January 2020, it had over 46,000 local clubs and more than 1.4 million, including the youthling Leo, in more than 200 countries and geographic areas of the world, around the world. That is astounding, and we are so grateful that you are here serving our community. It is truly in the spirit of what the word awesome is. It is truly awesome what you do and the services that you provide. We are so grateful, and we are so happy to be able to pass this resolution. Thank you so much. Okay. All right.
Council President, I would ask Council President and Vice President to honor Lions Club with the proclamation.
Do we do roll call first? We have to do roll call first, okay.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Okay, all right.
Richard.
Mahesh, did you want to come up here too? I think it would be, come on, everybody. Thank you. Ma'am, I'm Margot Harrison, Council President.
You guys can go
Meet you.
towards the front
Come
here
on
and
up,
take
everyone.
pictures.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Watch.
She's our president of the club.
Okay, very good. Okay. And would you like to say something?
I just spoke, but thank you so much. And one thing the councilman did not mention, Councilman Ajay Patil has been a member of our club for 10 years now. And he's involved in everything. Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
I'm just very grateful to be here and to be able to serve through Edison Visionary Lions Club. And it goes without saying that Maheshji always inspires each one of us every single day. And I'm so grateful to be here today. Thank you so much, everybody here.
Yeah, let's give them a big hand, everybody, for what they do. Thank you so much. Okay, all right, very good.
Is this yours?
You brought this up? You did this?
Yes, it's a milestone.
Amazing.
All right, where are we? We are at the approval of the minutes. Okay. Okay, we move on to item number 6, the approval of the minutes for the work session of February 24th and the regular meeting of February 26th. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Okay, second?
Second.
All right. All right, all in favor? Aye. You didn't put that on my cheat sheet. You didn't put it on my, okay. Unfinished business, number 7, ordinances for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. Clerk, could you please read the ordinance?
An ordinance amending Chapter 23, Adopt a Area Program, establishing updated program guidelines.
Okay. All right. Any public comment on this ordinance? All right, seeing none. Do I need a motion to close public comment?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the public comment?
Motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Okay, motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt?
I'll second it.
Okay, can we get a, council comments first, right? Right. Council comments on this, on this ordinance?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Pointer, Council
Thank
Vice
you.
President. Sorry.
Thank you. Not sure where to start, but 2018, I helped form an organization called Beautiful Edison with the premise of trying to put together an organization to partake in just cleanups around the township. After that, in conjunction with the Environmental Commission, a lot of those efforts started to take forth. However, one of the items that I saw was that those were just individual cleanups. They were not general maintenance for periodic times. And as a primary sponsor of the ordinance, one of my goals was to try to expand it to allow for other organizations to partake. For instance, maybe eventually the Lions Club would like to adopt an area and further their community service, which I do hope that they partake. In my previous experiences, I've cleaned up several areas around the township with many other individuals. These include Truman Drive, Amboy Avenue, Whitman Avenue, the boat docks and the gazebo, Silver Lake, Fox Road, Edison train station, and several others. These types of community events in terms of just general litter maintenance and cleanups provide profound benefit to our community. And I think it's important for us to expand these opportunities to others. I know that there was concern about like the insurance liability such, but I think that in the grand scheme, that what we want is more community involvement. I hope that there is the support to pass this. I thank you, Council President, for putting this on the agenda. I thank the administration for working with me to put, to fine tune this so that it is, so it could be brought forth, and I just really hope for the support. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Any other comments?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Patil.
It's a great ordinance, and thank you, Council Vice President Pointer, for coming up with the fine-grained ordinance that would help various organizations, whether it is Lions, Leos, Kiwanis, any other profit, non-profit organizations, and individuals who would like to give back to the community. They can certainly adopt the area and they can maintain that. And again, thank you, Sonia, for responding to all the emails. I appreciate that. So all my questions were answered as far as the insurance is concerned, and I'm happy to support this ordinance.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, as for myself, I love this ordinance. I think it's terrific, and you know, I think it actually pairs very nicely with the next ordinance about the bamboo. It's all about beautifying our town, getting rid of clutter, getting rid of things that are unsightly, and making this town even more appealing. So I thank you, Council Vice President, for having put this forward, and I look forward to being someone to volunteer for it. So thank you so much. And I think we do a roll call then? I think that was it.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, could you read the next ordinance, please?
An ordinance amending Chapter 25 trees to prohibit the planting and spread of running bamboo in the Township of Edison.
Okay, public comment on this ordinance? Yes, sir.
Good evening, council members. My name is Alok Sood, and I live in Edison, New Jersey. Been living here for last 13, 14 years now. First of all, thank you so much for listening to my concerns that I shared via email and your responses. I appreciate the responses as well. And based on that, I just want some confirmation. I sent an email response back earlier today as well. I did not get a response back to it. So I want to understand and get a confirmation that based on what Vice President you sent me earlier today, and then I think Ms. Alvarez Vivieros also responded to it, is the grandfathered bamboo on private property is outside the direct enforcement of the new ordinance. So that's one thing I like a confirmation. And as you guys know, the other thing is, I mentioned in my emails as well, in the last 1 week has been very stressful, troubling. I felt I was targeted. The ordinance wasn't approved. I received one notice. Within few days, a zoning officer was at my home giving me a violation notice. When I argued with him, he took it back. But then again, if no one else received any notices or violations or anything, and that too even prior to the final approval, why was I singled out and being targeted? And again, I appreciate the responses back from the council and your support.
Thank you, Alok. So the questions about the grandfathering,
Yes.
that's one of the questions. Council Attorney, can you clarify that?
Once again, properties that existed with bamboo prior to the adoption of the ordinance will be grandfathered.
Okay.
I've said it once, I've said it twice, I continue to say it. It's grandfathered if it pre-existed. Now, there was a prior ordinance that wasn't specific to bamboo about invasive species, and that's a different legal point. But for bamboo particularly, it's grandfathered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess based on that, the violation or the notices I have received, those, can someone give me a confirmation that those are not applicable to me in that case? And I don't even know why I received those.
I wasn't part of that process, sir. I can't give you the affirmation that you're looking for. The very fact that the officer or code enforcement person took it back and did not issue a violation should be good enough for you and the fact that I've told you it's grandfathered should be good enough that you were not targeted and you should not receive that type of a violation.
Okay,
And if you do, go get a lawyer. You'll win.
No, we all live in the same township, right? I don't want to get into that trouble with anyone, right? It's good to live, amicably with everyone. It's just, it was stressful. That's what I brought it to the council. Again, thank you so much that I'm not affected by it. But then again, I'll still appreciate if the council can still look into why I was targeted. Because this time it happened to me, next time it can happen to someone else. And it's very stressing. I'm not like in my 20s anymore. Stress affects, at this age.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. Thank
Council
you very much.
President, I have a question to the council.
Councilman Shmuel?
What is the processes? How do we monitor who's grandfathered and who's not?
It's going to be difficult. There are some obvious signs that whether it's been recently planted, whether it's been around for a while, whether it's already in pots, that's probably the best way to do it because it's contained within the pots. And if you really wanted to drill down deeply, there are aerial photographs that are taken on the county, from the county on a regular basis. There's something called Sanborn maps that go back to the early 1900s that show how properties were developed over the years. And it can be a fairly exhaustive process if you wanted to spend the time and the effort to find out. But once again, I want everyone to understand that the purpose of this ordinance is not to be punitive. The purpose of this ordinance is to get compliance so that properties with an invasive species of bamboo don't exceed their property bounds and infringe on the rights of others. That's the whole idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Patel?
Question as to how does the township get involved? Would someone have to file a complaint, or would it just be zoning officers going around and seeing it?
In my experience, it's usually somebody has filed a complaint. I don't think anybody's going out there looking for it.
So if
They've got better things to focus on.
So the question in this would be if two neighbors are okay with having it between their property and they don't mind, it's okay to have it between.
More than likely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Vinny?
I was able to work for a company that actually removed this bamboo. It's crazy. I'm thinking about opening a landscaping company in Edison because they charge a lot of money. So for anybody that has bamboo, I mean, you're talking about like just some removal and putting a barrier in. You got to get an excavator in there, and you got to put a wall, and it's got to go deep. I think it's like, it's more than 18 inches. I think it's like 24, maybe 36 inches, a barrier wall that has to go in the ground. I mean, Russ, you're gonna make a lot of money. Sheesh. So for anybody that has bamboo, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's other towns that have put this ordinance in, like East Brunswick and Old Bridge. I mean, these landscaping companies are just making a fortune off the residents. I don't know if Sam Joshi knows some landscapers that maybe he's getting a kickback, but that's all I got.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Kowalik. I'm a resident of Edison. I purchased property, and I
Could you just speak into the microphone?
unfortunately I have also some bamboo on my property, and it's going to be very difficult. Like one of the person of the council mentioned, that is going to try to determine who inherit, who planted. And I think the township have much more important things than fight with the windmills who have the bamboo, because knowing Edison, I don't see it as like a huge issue for a township that we're basically enjoying bamboo jungle. So I would like to know who even come with the idea to fight with the bamboo in Edison. If this is isolated complaint, or because there are already laws on the book, if the neighbors have problems with each other with the vegetation growing over their fences, so they can resolve those issues between each other. They don't need the township to be involved.
So, sir, what your question is what?
My question is, why township is wasting resources on fighting with something that doesn't seem to be a big issue in Edison? Because there's isolated areas where you can see bamboo. My property have this bamboo. For 15 years, none of my neighbors is being affected. Nobody complains. But like the previous person mentioned, that somebody was targeting him, and I don't want to be next person that's going to be targeted and fined for something that is growing on the property for a long time.
It's unlikely that you would be targeted unless there are complaints. You're saying your neighbors are not complaining, and so it's unlikely that the township is going to be just randomly coming by your property. But Sonia, can you answer his question about the why are we doing this? It's isolated and all of that, according to this gentleman.
I would actually refer to the council for putting up this ordinance.
Council President? Council or council?
Another thing that today is a bamboo, tomorrow somebody might come with idea about the apple, cherries. Those are also invasive species, and somebody might change their mind that they don't like them anymore. and they're gonna ask people to remove them from the properties. So it seems to me like the township have way more important issues than fighting few properties with the bamboos.
Okay. Counselor?
Thank you.
I don't think that you're referring it back to me for bamboo as the township attorney counsel. I think that you were, the business administrator was referring it back to the township council, why this has been brought forward.
Council
Here,
Vice
you know what? Here, I'll take a stab at this one. Okay. So we had a ordinance for invasive species, and residents came, and we've given violations. I think Sonia gave us documentation. I think there were 8 violations. Was that last year or over the last 2 years?
The total since 2019, there were 22.
Okay, so there've been 22 violations for this since 2019. What's come up is somebody was making the argument of the bamboo ordinance was called an invasive species ordinance. It was originally intended back when it was put in was really for invasive species, which is really the bamboo. But they put it as invasive species because some people plant vines or things of that nature, and then the vines grow over. So it was there. This here was just to kind of codify it to say bamboo is one of those invasive species. So even if we got rid of this whole thing here and somebody wanted to complain, they can still come to your home, they can still file a complaint, and it would be under the original invasive species. I don't know what the fine was for that. I would say it would be similar. So that was the idea with the bamboo. But because it comes up as bamboo on here, it looks like this is a new law that we've created. It's just clarifying the old law. I do know bamboo is evasive. And I will tell you this, when you wonder like who comes and complains, I've had complaints at my house about me not having permits. I've had complaints, I back up to Woods, and I had complaints that I was destroying the wetlands, even though that property was my own, and I had a wetland study that showed I wasn't by it. The people that complained, the township came out for the complaint, but technically it was one of my neighbors. After a few years, you're having a beer, you're having some hot dogs and hamburgers, and they apologize to you for it. Because it was a misunderstanding at the time. Maybe they didn't know you, so they didn't feel comfortable in coming to tell you. I myself ask my neighbors questions all the time. When they cut down a tree, I ask them if they took out a permit. To be quite honest with you, they go, "What do you mean I need a permit?" I don't turn them into the township because I'm looking to have a civil relationship with my neighbors. But that's probably the best way that I can explain it. It was just brought up that they were looking to be specific because the enforcement end of it, people were making arguments that what's evasive, and there was nothing in there that actually defined it unless you were looking at the state to see what the state listed as evasive. So that's how this whole thing, came about. How one resident was targeted or feels they were targeted, I would say I'd bet you my automobile it was a neighbor. Don't know which one. Township will never tell you which one. I'll tell you that. I never even bother asking when they come. But most likely that's what it is. I don't think, do we give violations without a complaint made? And I'm talking about anything, signs. Do we really do that or not really?
Typically, if the township receives a complaint, then we would, go out there and inspect. That's typically what may happen.
Right, that's what I've noticed with the township. They're not, they don't go out and look for stuff. It's when people make complaints about it. Yeah, listen, I'd like to answer that one. I know Council President's going to say you're going to have to wait until later, but so the long and short, that was probably the best explanation I can give as to why this was made.
Yes, and let me just add that also included in invasive species are things such as what's known as obnoxious growth of weeds, poison ivy, poison sumac, and things like that. So bamboo is not the only thing in this ordinance. It includes all these other invasive species and where complaints are generated. Any other comments about this?
Nobody wants to touch this one.
What's that?
I said, nobody wants to touch this one.
It's been touched. Okay. Any other public comment on that? Russ? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Russ.
Russ Azzarello, Schuyler Drive, Edison. I think pertaining to the ordinance 02246, with the bamboo, you're opening up a can of worms, because you have people that move to Edison, and they're from different nationalities. They have different plant desires that want to be put in. You have a lot of homes South Edison, Highland Park, South Edison borderline, North Edison, Metuchen at North Edison. There's a lot of bamboo out there already. And like Vinny said, it's very costly and a lot of work to remove it. You need a machine. You can't use a shovel. You need a machine that you have to dig down several feet, use a cement barrier border or around the perimeter of the yard, or a metal. So it's a lot of work, a lot of cost. How is the township going to know who already has bamboo and who doesn't? You know, is there going to be a survey, questionnaire? You know, you need some type of guidelines, and you can't have people ratting people out because they're bamboo. They have bamboo in the yard. Well, I might have moved there last year and there was bamboo already, and I have to deal with it. Some people like it, some people don't. So I think you're opening up a can of worms and need to follow up a little bit more. You don't want to do an aerial view like the attorney said. That's an invasion of privacy. You don't want to be invading people's privacy and watching what they're doing or watching what they're growing in their yard, unless there's just cause. But, I talk my customers out of planting bamboo, but I think there's a lot of things that really should be thought about. And if you're sending a piece of mail out, next time put something in there to let that homeowner know, yes, I do have bamboo. I want to check it off so I don't get somebody coming to my house and get a fine. I don't want to get picked on. What if a different employee that day comes and, is there going to be guidelines in-house with the township before they send somebody out? I think there's a lot of things that should be worked out, so there's no, minimize the complaining and the problems with the homeowners. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents.
Russ, I think if that can of worms could eat the bamboo, we'd really be in business.
No, you need a lot of cans of worms.
Thank you.
Council President,
Thank you.
Council President?
Yes.
Can I just maybe add, like the invasive species things that you were talking about, poison ivy. My wife is allergic to poison ivy. A lot of people will tell you, but not like she's allergic. She's like going to hospital allergic. So I clean it out of my yard. I clean it out of the woods behind me. And I talk to my neighbors to clean it actually off of their properties, because it just grows where I live. I don't know how it grows, just blows and it grows. But at the end of the day, if this ordinance, and Sonia, this is a question to you, if this ordinance wasn't written and somebody made a complaint about bamboo coming onto their property, we would still enforce this, correct? Because we have this invasive species on there.
We would, and we have.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So for the past few years, we've been enforcing this. It just didn't say exactly bamboo. So that's one thing. The other was, Russ brought up a point, and this was brought up by Councilman Patil, I believe, and I do recognize it as a problem, but it's a problem in the way the law was written before and a problem the way it is today, is that if I buy my house this year and my neighbor bought his house next year, and then bamboo is on both of our properties, nobody knows who owns the bamboo. I don't know how that enforcement would be handled by the town. I mean, I guess you'd have to investigate a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure how that gets implemented. You know, when you have two separate people, they might have been new and moved in. But that is an issue, whether it's the old law or the new law that's written here. In fact, I don't even know that I want to go down that rabbit hole, you know, on how you determine that. Maybe at that point they go to both neighbors and they tell you both to clean it up and remove it. I'm not sure what they're, you know, what they do. In fact, I don't even think Sonia would know at this point exactly what happened in that case.
It wouldn't be a condition of sale, I'll tell you that much.
No. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Council Vice President?
Thank you. I just want to offer one clarification. It's not necessarily bamboo in and of itself entirely no good. It's within the buffer zone of a property. Now, my understanding is that the root, you know, I'll go back to the public, but my understanding is that this is within the buffer zone, which is a 10-foot buffer from the property line. So I just want to make sure that that is clarified. Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Vikram Moja, 200 Compton Ave. So I'm just here to support my friend Alok. So I've been knowing, I have seen his house built there in 2012. He moved there and I've seen that property and it's a very beautiful area basically. And I'm just looking for to help him out, the clarity on his case where he got a warning a month, 2 to 3 weeks before, and then suddenly somebody shows up from the township with a violation notice. So, and today you are passing the ordinance. So what was the root cause? Of course, you tried to give a lot of analysis behind it, but I have seen him in stress from last 3 weeks, and any notice comes from township is really thing from somebody who doesn't know about these processes. So I just look for more clarity in his case and get it resolved. Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir, is there a question, a specific question?
So clarity on his case where why he got warning first place, then violation notice for somebody came up to his house for the violation notice when there is no ordinance in place.
You know, Council President.
Wait, excuse me. I don't think we are in a position of being able to answer that question in terms of why zoning would come. I don't think we as a council are in a position to be able to answer that. What did you want to say, Dr.?
Well, I was going to, you're right, that the council can't do that.
Yeah.
But the administration can maybe find out, what possessed them to go there.
Anything which helps him to resolve this issue, basically, from his side or whoever's side it is.
I just presumed it was a neighbor, but maybe if you could do a follow-up and see if they were just driving by and seen the bamboo, or there was a complaint.
If the township receives any sort of call or complaint, obviously we would investigate it. It's not something we would, necessarily discuss. To the attorney's point, it's not anything as well. I'm in the same position as you are to discuss someone's individual matter, especially if something were to be a civil.
Maybe in that case, the person who comes with a violation or warning should be talked to both sides so that, it gives clarity to the person too. So that in this case, I think when somebody came for the violation, he talked to him and then that got resolved. But the person who came with the warning didn't talk to him at all. And so that gave him stress basically. So it's better to talk both sides rather than taking one side and giving right away a decision.
Yes, and in Alok's case, Jim out from zoning did come by and was ready to give him a warning, but Alok spoke to him and
that helped,
yes,
definitely.
Yeah, so there's your two-way conversation about it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else about this? I'm sorry, you've spoken already, sir. Come on, AJ.
You can get another chance.
Good evening, AJ Benz. Ben's from Edison, New Jersey. You're at the floor, Council President.
Yes, you do.
I would like to wrap this up with this ordinance, with Ordinance 2246. I do approve for it. There's a long comment. I do approve for it. I would like to say to the previous speakers from the first comment, I hope he doesn't get violated again. I hope he doesn't get targeted. It looks like it was targeted. I feel like this should be investigated regardless for his best interest and this town's best interest. From the second comment, you absolutely should open up a landscaping company, Vinny, by the way. And Ross, that was a great idea that you mentioned as well. And for me, I just want to wrap this up and I do approve it. And welcome, Edison. This is where, no bamboo, just time to take it out. So you guys been warned, and this will be adopted after I say with this. I have no other comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Mikey?
Good evening, Council. I don't really have a question, just a comment, make it brief. I just don't really like the term invasive species. It's kind of like the terminology that people used on immigrants of all different types that fled to the United States for a better life in the best country in the world. So I don't like invasive species. And I agree that if the gentleman feels that he was possibly targeted, it should be looked into. And I just want to state for the record for any members of the public who are listening, when you come to redress your grievances or speak at a public meeting like this, you can always remain anonymous. I'm not alleging that this council has ever retaliated against any individuals, but it is a widely common thing across New Jersey and all over the country when you come to a meeting and you give your address, that there could be possible targeting from code enforcement or whatever it may be. But I do think if the gentleman feels that he was targeted, I do think a proper looking into that, just to make sure that nobody is being treated unfairly. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Motion to close public comment?
Motion to close?
Second.
Thank you. I'm sorry, let me go to the motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Council comments on this ordinance?
I just commented for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you looking at me again?
I'm not, because you usually have something to say. Okay, any other council comments on this?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Patil.
I'm in fully support of this ordinance for various reasons, but at the same token, I want to make sure that this body acknowledges that there potentially could be complaint of the targeted situation. However, I would also want to state here that not all bamboos, some of the bamboos are edible. Some people do eat bamboos. So please do research. And hopefully we'll have our health as well as the zoning officer is well educated in terms of the various types of bamboos. Those are bad for the neighbors. And the ones that are good, we shouldn't be harming those people. In lieu of that, I do have one email from a resident who is struggling past 10 plus years to take care of his situation. And Sanya, I'm going to forward that email to you, so if you can look into that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other comments? Council Vice
Council
President?
Again, I just want to clarify that the ordinance pertains to bamboo within the buffer zone of property, so that's a 10-foot buffer. And the premise with that is that because bamboo grows from the root, my understanding is generally within a 6-foot radius. I believe that's why the 10-foot buffer was established. You are allowed to still have it if it's potted, if it's outside of the buffer zone. And in my opinion, the primary factor for this is just to try to prevent damage of property that is not yours, right? Because if it were to grow to another person's property and then cause damage to it, that's what we're trying to prevent, in my opinion. So I just wanted to offer that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Just a note to Mikey, if you don't like the term invasive species, you probably really don't like the term obnoxious growth. All right, just just making a note of that. Okay, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Thank you. All right. We move to number 8, public comment on the resolutions only. Any public comment on the resolutions? Yes, sir. And just state which resolutions, please.
Yes, I'm going to be speaking, I'm just going to speak on Resolution 132. Resolution to support publishing legal notices on official government websites. Just not exactly sure what that entails because official government websites, they fall in the category of like the Edison Police Department Facebook page. There's no comment in. Comments are disabled. The mayor has disabled comments on his Facebook, acting within government capacity. He had shut those comments off after the national flag issue. He's also the director of the public safety, and I think he needs to resign or step down from that position because if we're supporting publishing legal notices on official government websites, and people can't create a dialogue on the police page, that could be a public safety issue. And if the mayor is unwilling to, if he's going to continue to violate the rights of the people by disabling comments on his personal page, I think he should be maybe possibly compelled to just to step down from the public safety, because I think that's an issue. I think people should be allowed to create dialogue on the Edison police page that's blocked disabled comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for the resolutions? Joyce?
Joy Ship Freeman, Edison, New Jersey. I was going to ask that question that he asked, but I don't know if he's going to get an answer to it correctly. With the R113, with the Governor's Council on Substance Use and Disorder fiscal grant cycle from October 2020 to June 2026, does that have the finances on it too, labeled between that whole thing online?
And do you have any other questions before I get to that?
Okay, and I was just curious, the resolution returning of a cash bond for a filming permit.
What number is that, Joyce?
That is 134.
Okay.
Yeah, just curious, because maybe somebody came here to film Edison, we're so popular. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, was there a question with that? Okay, all right. The question about 113, the Governor's Council on Substance Use Disorder fiscal grant cycle, the question was, are the finances listed online?
They're listed on the resolution.
Okay.
So the resolution is online.
Okay. All right. And come back in.
So I just want to know if it's online, if the finances are online, that 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2024, 25, 26, each year, if the finance is on there for the actual, grants that we receive during the course of that time, is that all listed for the cycle?
Back to you, Sonia.
All of our finances are part of our fiscal reporting, so our budgets, it's listed on there.
So she's telling me each one is listed on there for each year. That's what she's telling me right now.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. And then the question about filming 134, the 131, no, that's not the one.
For the cash bond.
Cash bond, yeah,
134.
the filming permit.
Filming permit.
Yeah. Do we know, what, excuse me, what? Oh, it's from our department. Okay, okay.
that they have to post a bond when they do filming permit in here. So after the filming is done and there's no damages and if any property, whatever, then the bond is released.
Oh,
That
okay,
comes
thank
from
you.
our-
Thank you,
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thanks, thank you. Yes, Finny? And just again, which resolution?
I'm going to be talking about the resolution that he was talking about.
And that's
132. 132.
Okay.
We didn't exactly get what that was. So, like, Mikey asked about it, and we didn't get a thing.
Okay.
But also, are we doing back and forth again?
No.
Yeah, because it was like,
No, but.
you asked, and then we spoke.
No, but this was that's during her speaking.
Resolutions is good for back and forth?
Yeah, as long as it's during your speaking time, sure.
Okay. All right, I wasn't sure.
Yep.
All right, and then, so he spoke about supporting and publishing legal notices on official government websites. So I'm assuming, I guess we can't talk about legal notices sometimes, but we're going to publish them on official websites. Maybe we'll pick and choose which ones get published and which ones don't. Who gets to establish what's posted and what's not and why. As far as resolution on returning cash bond for a filming permit, do I need a filming permit to film in here? Do I need a permit to film outside?
I don't believe so.
So why would anyone need a
Filming
permit
companies.
to filming companies?
These are actually companies, yeah.
I'm a company.
Okay.
I publish stuff on a website for maybe profit. Should I get a permit? I could be. All right, thanks.
All right. Yeah, so the question about the government websites.
So when we're talking about official publications, there are requirements in the statutes of the state of New Jersey that require official notices to be put in newspapers of circulation within the county. So for things like the ordinance we talked about, that had to be published in a newspaper. So this is a resolution that supports posting those types of notices, not online commentary, but notices so the public can know what's going on the official website of the Township of Edison, not on someone's Facebook page, not on the police pages, on the official website of the Township of Edison. It could satisfy the requirements, if the legislature agrees, for publication, because unfortunately, as we all know, newspapers kind of a dying business, and realistically, who really reads the legal notices in the newspapers? So it's a way to get wider circulation and more focused circulation to those who might be interested in issues regarding the township. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comments on the resolutions? Yes, Anthony? No.
Anthony Deamert, Wiley Ave. For resolution, I believe it's 123, the RICO copier. If that's for one multifunction, if that's the MP, the C3503 or the MP 400, we are getting big time ripped off there. I used to work for RICO, and I just texted a buddy of mine just to get some quotes, and that's just somebody's making some bank for commission. So I don't know which multi-printer that is, but that's just a lot of money for that one printer for 8 months. I'm just saying, you might want to check into that. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment? Esther?
Esther Barkin, Edison. I want to comment on 131, which I introduced, the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. I hope you approve it. It passed through the appropriate committee in the Assembly, and it looks promising, but we want to get that done ASAP. There was a challenge to some of the Attorney General's efforts to, on many states, put this forward, and it was challenged by some other states, and the Supreme Court upheld the right to try to recoup money from the fossil fuels. So I look forward to your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Okay, AJ?
Ben's from Edison, New Jersey. I have the floor, Council President.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I want to go back to our 131. That was on my first mind. I do really want Resolution 131 to be approved because this is we absolutely do need this funding as soon as possible. I do want to talk, I do agree with these resolutions. That's going to be our 114, 115, what else? And 134, resolution 134, and then for R132, from the chair to the township lawyer. I think I do, now I understand. It's like let's just say that the Edison Township wants to auction their cars, they can do that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And for R134, a filming permit, I think that the auditors don't need a filming permit. For a perfect example, I will mention up when orientation's remarks, Daniel Bagoli, Bad Baby, let's just say she wants to film something, she has to get a filming permit because she has a company, she's an independent artist. So I guess she has to film something, she wants to come here in Edison. If I'm not mistaken, if someone can clarify. Can an artist, a celebrity, wants to film, do they still have to pay the $500 if they don't break anything?
Anything?
In my experience, the filming ordinances, and I will admit that I have not looked at Edison's filming ordinances, require production companies which may involve traffic control, public works, closing down streets, or large areas that may be disturbed, the town wants to know about it. So,
And they should.
And they should.
Absolutely.
And that's the purpose for obtaining a filming permit. You generally see them more in areas that have attractions, like the Edison Tower, or Asbury Park, or any other shore community where a filming company would love to be able to come in and just do whatever they want without letting the town know about it. So that's the purpose for filming permits. It's not for the locals, if you will, unless the locals happen to have a production that might require police presence, DPW presence, or other safety concerns. So that's the general concern, general reason for those types of permits.
Yeah, because I can't see any resident become the next Netflix. All right, I have no other comments into the resolutions. I would address those resolutions and in general approve all resolutions at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, AJ. Anyone else on the resolutions? Okay, motion to close public comment on the resolutions.
Motion to close.
Second.
Okay. All right. We move on to anything to pull at the resolutions for a separate vote. Yes.
I guess disbursements?
Which one is that? The first one?
104.
Okay. All right, 104. Anything else?
That would be it.
Okay. Anything else to pull?
132, just for the comment.
Which one? I'm sorry?
132.
132. The legal notices. Okay. Okay, so anything else from anybody? Okay, so pulling right now 104 and 132, so we are looking to consent to 105 through 131, and then 133 and 134. So can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Roll call, right? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes, okay, let's start with Councilman Brescher, the disbursements, 104.
Yes. We've been asking, I guess, for the flyer that goes out to everybody for the cost of that, the stamps, the publication, or office time, whatever that total cost would be for a breakdown of some of the flyers that go out. And I haven't seen that. When we do a closed session, I'd like to speak to my council colleagues and to our attorney about some grave concerns that I have and actions that I would be taking moving forward. But I'd like to do that in private, but I would like to get the cost overall, what that is. I know you gave us part of the cost at the last meeting, but it was that, simply put, the mayor puts out a flyer that says 4 council people, 3 council people, whatever it is, voted for this or did that, which seems like a political propaganda in my mind. I'll talk about, the value of it in closed session. But for right here, I'd like to get what that dollar amount was for that flyer, the mailing costs, how many people it was sent out to.
If you could, Councilman, just to be more specific, if you could email me exactly the breakdown you're looking for. If you give me the breakdown of what you're looking for, that would better help me to get the information to you.
Okay, that'll do.
Okay, all right. Should we make a motion to approve that, or? Okay, all right, so can I get a motion to approve R104?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, you get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
I'll vote yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. I'll vote yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes, all right. And Councilman Patil, 132.
Just quick on
No,
that,
that's
just want
the-
to confirm that we are not discontinuing the current mechanism of publishing the legal notices. It stays as it, we are only adding the township website. That's just the,
This is in support of a bill.
No, this is 132, this is the legal notices. Yeah.
This is in support.
just to support, okay, then I'm good with
Yeah,
that. Okay,
It's not, we're
Okay.
not changing ours. This is to support the
Okay.
bill.
perfect.
The clerks and that is at the state level, because the newspapers aren't really publishing paper anymore.
Thank you.
That's the whole
Okay.
premise of this.
Council
We're not
Vice-
stopping what we're doing.
I'm good.
Council Vice President?
Thank you, Council President. I agree that we should support this because I know how much the clerk's office has spent from a time consumption standpoint to make sure that notices, particularly on the ordinances that we put forth, so that we meet the deadlines from the newspapers. The newspapers, as the resolution states, are going through troubles, whether it be financing, whether it be from employees working. So hopefully the legislature moves forward with this to be able to give us a better opportunity to notify residents so that we have a more informed community. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, any other comments? Okay. Can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Okay, we move on to oral petitions and remarks. Any public comment? Carl?
Good evening. Through the chair to the BA, don't need to answer it right now. Who put up the fence at Dudash's Park, and did they have a permit?
Do you have any other questions before this? Do you have any
Well,
questions?
I got more.
Okay, let's get all of them at once, okay?
Well, you got the first one, correct?
I do.
Okay. 1020, 1061 in Avenue, been in zoning violation for over 3 years. Why? I can tell you why. The person goes in and eat for free. Houses across the street from the first aid squad. 3 houses. I was sent there when I was working over and over and over, harassing the people for no reason. That was time and money and a waste of money because of one person. The grass, Woodbridge Avenue, by the mining muffler place.
I'm sorry, Carl, could you repeat? This is the third one now, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and so could you start over with that one?
it was about, I told you about the house across from First Aid Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The grass, Woodbridge Avenue, by the mining place was not cut out all this year. The Board of Health person in that area, it's up to me, he'd be fired. He said, I don't see it. I see him go past the area and the grass is 4 feet high. He's useless for Clark Martin area. We got high grass at the church, at the dead end, when there used to be a right-of-way where you could walk up the street when Pete Knotts was working. But Peter Knott is no longer working either. It ain't been clean. Why? The administration knows about it. Why? Because I'm complaining about it? That's an insult. Remember, I was barred because of Joe Coyle for 3 years from doing my job, because I was doing my job. Look how many signs are around town right now since June 30th. What is my other partner doing up there? No show? Grass, you were talking about the other night for 15 minutes. He got under his skin that you was taking too long talking about the zoning ordinance. Excuse me, your phone is more important? Is your phone more important than to listen to me? Stop the clock. That's being rude. Like Mike was saying the other night, you guys don't listen to us. I gotta slow down for a second. Because I was just in JFK 2 weeks ago with a 202 heartbeat. But I'm bouncing back again. I'm on 5 medications. So, something got to get done with the zoning and Board of Health. I brought this up a while back. If anybody got a good memory up there and you were paying attention to me that night, I said, when we do the grass zoning 2 and 3 years ago, we acted. We didn't wait for the phone call to ring. The Board of Health must have sidewinders on where they look straight ahead. They don't see no grass. I had this town looking damn good 2 years ago. Last summer, it looks like shit. Excuse my mouth. But it was.
I'm sorry, Carl, your time is up.
I know that.
Okay, all right, so let me see if I can get your
But I'm just saying.
answered. Okay, I'm sorry.
They got to do something with the zoning and let
Okay.
it take it back over.
I'm sorry,
We go
Carl.
act.
Carl, I'm sorry. You
I'm
need to
sorry,
sit-
too.
You got to sit down. Let me see if I can get your questions answered, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. The fence at Dudash, what do we know about that?
So that is our township property. We put the fence up. That's our own property. We wouldn't put a permit out for it. The attorney could correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not something we do. And that's the only question that I gathered from the gentleman.
Excuse me, Mr. B.A.
I'm sorry, Carl.
I want to
I'm
say
sorry,
one
Carl.
other thing, ma'am. I want to
No,
say one other
I'm
thing.
sorry, Carl.
The
You're-
fence
Carl,
is too close
Carl,
to the curb.
your time is up.
The fence is too
Carl,
close
you
to
need
the
to sit
curb.
down.
You must have it 10
Carl,
feet right
you
away.
need to sit down. You're out of
It's my
order
freedom
now.
of speech.
You're out of order now.
I know the rules.
You're not. You're
I
out
was
of
in zoning
order.
for 5 years.
You need to sit
10 years
down.
almost.
Carl, thank you.
Am I hearing the truth?
You were saying, I'm sorry, Sonia. That was, all right, so,
The township does not need a permit to put a fence on township-owned property.
Okay.
Thank you.
all right, okay, all right. There was also a question about 1061 Amboy Avenue zoning violation that's been there for 3 years. I'm not sure what the question is, if it's why. Do you know anything about 1061 Amboy Avenue?
I'll follow up.
All right, thank you. The other ones really weren't so much, there was talk about grass on this place on Woodbridge Avenue and zoning and Board of Health, but I think the first two were really the questions. So if we can get a follow-up on the 1061 Amboy, that would be appreciated. Thank you. Gloria?
Council President?
Yes.
Just a quick question. The fence, if the residents have to keep a fence 10 foot from the curb, does the township not have to abide by the same rules? Question.
Is that a question to me, Counselor?
Well, I'll take an answer from anybody. I mean, we can look into it, but
The township itself is not subject to the permit requirements of applying for a fence, same as the township is not subject to its agencies like the planning board or the zoning board. The superior governmental entity has the right to take actions for governmental purposes and to protect life, health, and safety.
well, okay, I guess my question, that wasn't really the question.
Maybe I didn't understand it. Try again.
Yes. No one was saying about like, I'm not talking about a fence or a fee for a fence or taking a permit for the fence. What I'm saying is that if residents have to keep a fence 10 foot from the street to their yard, and we're not talking about a safety issue, right, like a construction fence or something, can the township just put a fence at the curb line? Like, could the township go dig a hole and put a fence between the curb and the sidewalk just because they wanted to? Not for safety or for any other reason. That's my question.
I think,
Go ahead.
if I could, if I may, what is referenced here is the right-of-way. So that's where we have jurisdiction over. So that, and again, the attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, that wouldn't apply to the township,
Correct.
being that it's in the right-of-way.
So the township could put a fence in the right-of-way, block wall. They do whatever they want.
It's a very nice fence.
I haven't
It
seen
looks
it.
good on the park. It's not obstructing anything. I think if that was a concern, certainly we could look at it. If there's a specific area in the fence and in the area that is obstructing anything, certainly we'd look at it. So if we could find out more, I can certainly have someone take a look at it.
Okay, I'll take a ride by. I haven't been by to see it, so, all right.
Okay. All right, Gloria.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Gloria Dittman, Midland Road in Edison. I want to thank Council President Harris for locating the Jane Tausman Memorial Chair. Jane was elected to the Edison Town Council in 1990, if memory serves me correctly, and she was a vigorous fighter for environmental issues. She led the fight for the Dismal Swamp and other environmental issues in Edison. Perhaps her chair should be placed by the Thomas A. Edison bus so that it has a place of honor. Just an idea. I also would like to acknowledge the good work of our Edison Police Department for capturing the thieves who cause so much harm in our city. I would like to talk to you about the much-needed light at the corner of Grove Avenue and Calvert. This intersection is a death trap, and it has been that bad for many, many years. The temporary solution of making part of Grove Avenue a 25 mile per hour and a 35 mile per hour road just isn't working. Traffic backs up from both ends, from Grove to Calvert and from Calvert to Oak Tree Road. This causes people on Midland Road an impossible task of trying to turn onto Grove Avenue. So traffic is both directed in both ways and completely ruins getting out of that street. Lastly, this limit for residents to speak is a real abuse of free speech. I understand you want people to collect their thoughts before they arrive at the podium. However, it is possible that people may learn new information or plans for the council meeting which they were not aware of, and may cause a need for an additional time at the podium. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So regarding Grove and Calvert, and this is something that Councilman Patil has been vigorously pursuing, and I believe as of Monday's meeting, it looks like we're finishing up the traffic study about that, and that we should be getting the results of that very soon. So stay tuned for that. Okay, thank you. Okay, next. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Have a nice trip, right? Jeanette Gamalchak, Edison. I have two things to say. One's good, one's bad. I called the township Friday afternoon. I called 4 personnel people from the township. The only one that called me back was Bob Dill. And I just want to say thank you very much for Bob Dill. He at least answered my phone call, okay? Another thing, he told me go and check. What I was calling about was there's this dumpster that was put up by the Edison Senior Center there off of Woodbridge Avenue, a big dumpster. It took up 3 parking places, handicap parking places, that I was positive it was there Monday and Tuesday. I know it was there Friday of last week. I'm not sure if it was there Thursday or not. Okay, that is a very, very big handicap. It's a handicap parking. It's a health hazard, okay? Like I said, I called 3 other people at the township. Bob was the only one that answered my call. He told me that by Thursday, he says, if it's not moved, give him a call back right away. Well, I had nothing else to do this afternoon. I took a ride at 12:30 by the center. Lo and behold, thank you, Bob, there was a big truck there pulling out the dumpster. So, Tuesday is a very, very large crowd that we have there. We have the exercise people there on Tuesdays. Because it was so nice on Tuesday, we had a lot of people eating there for their meals at lunchtime, and twice a month on Tuesdays, on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of the month, Clara Barton section is there, and they have at least 70 to maybe 80, 90 people that come there, plus our Edison group that was there. And you come there on a Tuesday, you can't find a place to park. And then that's a shame that we don't even have no parking places for our handicapped people. There was people that were handicapped. You know where they had to park? Almost down by the basketball court. And there they are walking with walkers, handicapped wheelchairs. One has a wheelchair, canes. I don't think that's fair at all, that they can park that. And like I said, I went into the office to find out, what are they doing? There's so much room up there. Park it someplace else. They said, oh, we don't know why it's there. Nobody wants to give you an answer. Anyways, that's my only problem, okay? But like I said, I went home. When I went home from seeing that dumpster, I called Bob Dale, but there wasn't nobody answer. And I don't like to leave messages on the phone. I don't do texts because I'm very old-fashioned. But I left him a message, and I just said, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
You can thank him directly. He's been sitting right over there. Thank you, Bob Deal. Okay. Joyce?
Joy Ship, Edison, New Jersey. After discussing on Monday what I said about the double violation from both departments, about the health department and also about the zoning department, they assured me that was no thing, but I went out in the hall and I spoke to the gentleman and I seen the violations. And there's one thing about violations, at least check your spelling. When I looked at the spelling, I was embarrassed. I'm like, this is supposed to be, la-ti-da-da town, and we can't even spell stuff right correctly on a violation? Oh, that's just terrible, terrible, terrible. And as I was talking about him with bamboo, I said, we probably got more marijuana growing here than we have bamboo, so don't even worry about it. And I know Carl gets a little hyper because he gets a little excited. Carl is not like other people. He doesn't pick on certain people. If all 5 of your cars are there, even if his sister's car is there parked incorrectly, Carl's gonna give everybody a ticket on the block. That's who Carl is, okay? Now, I wanna get a better understanding because I keep seeing these points about this grant is for this thing and this grant is for this thing, and then the grants are commingled. So I know I've been involved with grants and stuff before. I've been on this earth for a little bit of while, and I've been involved in a whole lot of projects. Now, can you get a grant from this place and then use it someplace else that the grant wasn't said for? Or, you know what I mean? Or do the grant is just so ambiguous and so, just that kind of grant? Or do you zero in, like if you zero in on a library grant, does that have to be specifically spent for the library? Or, because I'm hearing these grants are used for different buildings and different things. So I'm hoping that it's not, you know what I mean? Because I don't, I know we got new prosecutors in the state now that we've changed presidents. So I'm hoping that we're not in the paper for some kind of scandal or something with the different grants. I just want to make it known specifically, if we have this grant for senior citizens over here, this $3 million over here, that is not spent for like a park for a kid or something else. I just want clarification on actual grants, because I know all about bonds. We always got to pay them back, and everybody always say, oh, we won't have to pay any interest on them. The way we crashing and burning right now, you're going to pay interest on stuff in this country right now if you're paying attention to anything that's going on in government. So I don't like us to try to fool the people, to make them think that we all getting this free money. And, don't worry about it. And then when I looked at the debt amount from 2021, I looked at it, then I looked at the debt amount from 2024, people are quite nervous in this town, and they're telling me about it. They're quite nervous that everybody's just spend, and they, we're supposed to be getting all this great amount of money, but I don't think that we've gotten that amount of money that's too close to $200 million. I just don't think so. But my question is that I need to know specifically is about the grants, and I hope that there's a resolution to the man who was targeted. He said, oh my God, it's supposed to be 30 days. He said, they gave me 2 violations within 3 days. I don't get it.
The question about can a grant given for one thing be used for another?
If I may. So grants are very specific. The one that is alluded to in terms of the library grant, so, and I can certainly send this information, there was also some literature that went out. It is a library community recreation grant. It's a multifaceted grant. The library applied for it, they received their funding. the township separately, as a separate entity, applied for the same grant, and we did receive $3 million for the Stelton building. So, because what we discussed with that, there was classrooms set up for the Stelton building that qualified under the grant. So it's a library community recreation grant, and I can certainly give you the specific grant we're talking about. But grants are specific to a task, to a project, if you will.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. Okay, yes, Anthony.
Anthony Deamron, Wiley Ave. First, question regarding Stelton. I hear that the Stelton budget is up to about $9 million now. I'd just like to know if we know how that money is being spent. That's my first question. As far as I agree with the BA. The fence at Dudash Park is really nice. They've did a really good job. I would just say, if the township should follow the rules that they actually impose. If we have to do it as residents, the township should obey by the same rules. So that's what I would say. So and Carl knows. Nobody knows better than Carl when it comes to that stuff. Also, I'd like to. Regarding public safety, first I want to give a shout out to the Edison Police Department for catching those guys. That's an awesome job. So thank you. I just like a few questions regarding public safety though. Does the mayor acknowledge the rate of increase in crime? Does he acknowledge it? Is he aware of it? Or does he disagree with the 82% increase in robberies, the 56% increase in assaults? This is over the last 4 years, by the way, and the 70% increase in overall crime. And that's the stat. I want to thank the Edison Reporter for that, by the way, putting that together. But that's from the state police. That's the state police stats. So I want to know if the mayor agrees with those statistics, or does he just disagree and we're all wrong? And then I think about what is different from 4 years ago than today? And one of the things, we have the same chief, same everybody, and we didn't have these problems 4 years ago. But I look at these meetings, specifically these meetings. Over the last 4 years, we have officers now that have to stay in these meetings. I've been in meetings, I've never seen it before, but we have, before this administration, where there's been chaos in this room. We've had these guys having cell phones in their face, being accused of every bad thing there is. All right, even their names have been posted all over social media. Okay, and there's a human element to that because I don't hear the mayor coming out and defending it. Or to be honest with you, it starts with him. So to allow this to go on, all right, and that over the course of time, over 4 years, for it to continue to happen, and we've had some bad ones here, all right, then to expect the same individuals to go out and protect our town is just insane. Okay, it's insane. And what we're doing is other people see it. It's all over social media. So you're basically encouraging that in Edison, it's okay to do that to these guys. It's disgusting, in my humble opinion. I couldn't stand it. And we have a lot of people, we have some residents that do it. We've had a lot of non-residents that do it. It's unacceptable. And then to tell them to go out there and to try to deter crime. If it was me, I would just stay in my car and just look straight. And until a call comes to me or if crime falls into my lap, I'm not getting involved. They have cameras all over them. I mean, imagine going to work and dealing with that. So it's enough's enough, and then we worry about the crime. Why isn't it a crime? Now we know that they're short on patrol numbers. We've gone through this time and time again. Myself, Councilman Brescher, I know Councilman Patil have done it too. All right, but let's think of the obvious though. In his chambers, it had gotten so out of control here, and they go out and to expect them to say to themselves probably, and I don't speak for any of them, but I'm just thinking, hey, if something happens, I don't have anybody sticking up for me here, in a sense. It's absurd. So thank you, Council President.
Thanks, Anthony. His question about Stelton, the $9 million, how is this being spent?
It's not 9 million, it's approximately 6 million. So there's 3 million that was allocated through capital, and then the 3 million that's coming out of the grant.
Okay, thank you. And Anthony, I'm not going to be answering a question about what the mayor believes or doesn't believe. That's not for me to say, so I'm just not going to be answering that.
Council President, can I
yes.
make the comment? And I didn't listen the full comment or full question about the Stilton, but I just caught based on what you answered. My understanding was the $3 million, the debt that we got, once we receive the grant, that will pay off the debt. So that's net is 3 million. But what I'm hearing is 3 plus 3. That's what we are looking at, $6 million, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the discussion will be for another day, but the document, thank you for supplying the document today. I looked at that spreadsheet. Somehow I saw the change order for the sport building that was listed in that Excel spreadsheet. So not sure it is a mistake, or hopefully we didn't pay from the Stilton community to someone or some other project. Hopefully it's a mistake, and I would like to get an answer. But again, that's a question for another day. Thank you.
I see what you're referencing. That's probably a mistake.
Thank you.
I'll get that clarified.
Okay, yeah.
Council
Yes, sir.
President?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right, I noticed that, that mistake. I'd like to get a list too for Stelton, if we can get a breakdown for all costs. I just want to make sure the public has like a total list. And that goes for even, there's some stadium lighting that I believe isn't going to be part of the package, but might be part of like the PSE&G project, but it's still really part of the project itself. So I'd just like to get a list of all the costs that we've incurred, underground piping, whatever, our water company, whatever that cost was, just so we get a full understanding of what that project is. And that only came because in looking at this, it almost looked like we were trying to hide the change order from the Jets field into the Stelton Rec Center. You know what I mean? Like, I guess if
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Councilman Patil didn't see it, I don't know. I mean, it's a purchase order that they got in that, so there was a possibility that it could have happened. When we talked about the public safety, when that was brought up, and where people are, I'd like to bring up that yes, these meetings have devolved. I myself got a survey, I don't know if my council colleagues did, that asked whether we've been threatened, we feel threatened. Some survey company, I think in Illinois, they're probably trying to come up with legislation to protect elected officials. I answered it honestly, and in the bottom when they give you a paragraph, they ask you about it. And what I said was, if I'm afraid of loud noises or bullets, I wouldn't become a police officer. If I was afraid of fire, I wouldn't become a fireman. If I was afraid of the public, I wouldn't become an elected official. Not every job is actually, not everybody could do every job. Being an elected official, we have to take into account the aggravations that you've went through. And I know myself as an elected official, I was standing at that podium. Bob Deal was sitting in one of these chairs. Rob Karabinchek, who I've known for a while, I actually yelled and screamed at about flooding on my street because I was just fed up because the mayor, the administration, the council, no one would take care of my flooding. And they handled it quite well. They understood that it wasn't directly at them at that moment, but I was just aggravated that I wasn't being heard and I wasn't being addressed. So maybe that just gives me a different idea up here, but like I say, as elected officials, I believe this is our job. Take the criticism. Bamboo today that we just had, be honest with you, I voted for it. I talked to John about it. I thought there was an issue. I do see how it affects them. I could see that those residents were not happy with the decision that we made, but I just try to be as open and honest and explain it to them in the simplest terms that why I do what I do. And I think if all elected officials do that, I think we'd be better off and we wouldn't have these fearful confrontations that survey put out. I don't know, did anybody else get the survey? Okay, you did, okay. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Patel?
I did have a request. Can we get from the police department the uniform crime reporting for 2018 to 20 current? I've been trying to get accurate numbers, and I feel like every website I go has different numbers in terms of crime statistics. FBI has this uniform crime reporting, which could be a good tracking of the indicator. And if we can get also Woodbridge and Metuchen, if Metuchen is reported, I'm not sure if Metuchen is. I know Woodbridge is. If we can get that reporting, just so we can have an idea what kind of problem we're dealing with, and we can all be in the same base, rather than having random numbers being thrown.
Councilman, I'll probably have it up on my website, for running for mayor. But it's it's a state website. If you Google crime stats for New Jersey, okay, it pops up. You can go back. I think you can go back to maybe like 2008, and you can go by every county and every town, and it gives you a breakdown of rapes, burglaries, larcenies, another one. There's multiple information, and the township, I believe, every year reports the crime statistics from that year to the state, where they compile it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening to the Edison City Council. My name is Jim Needlemeyer, and I am from Monmouth County, New Jersey. Coming up on March 29th is the Greenberg Toy and Train Show, where Joseph Caruso runs that expo center, and he does not have handicap washrooms in there. The signs are falsely marked, the washrooms. And the place is packed like cattle. And I got told by, a few times or less, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose directly from Joseph Caruso. And it's under the Americans with Disabilities Act that any public place has to apply by the ADA Act, which George Herbert Walker Bush put into effect. And, I'm getting, and the parking over there is atrocious. I went to the circus to get a handicap placard, and none of them parked there with handicap placards or plates. As long as you have a dot or a turban on your head, you're allowed to park there.
Excuse me, sir. Jim, can you stop this time for a second? Where is this being held, this particular event?
At the New Jersey Convention and Expo Center.
Here in Edison?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Continue, please.
And I'm just getting, there's nothing, please do something about it. Tell Joseph Caruso to make those washrooms. There's only one handicap washroom in the whole entire place. And if I decide to go outside to have a smoke, I had to repay to get in the door. I had to use that handicap washroom and then come back in, come on. Jesus, something's got to be done about this. And I went to the New Jersey Disability Rights, the public department, the building people, down to the Edison Health Department. I got someone that couldn't speak English too well, spoke Hindu, and I couldn't understand them. Come on. And they did. This lady didn't know her butt from a hole in the ground. What I was talking about. It's a health issue. 1, 2. This has got to stop. Come on. This is a violation of the ADA Act. The city attorney should know this. Am I right?
I can't comment on your specific facts, sir, nor can I comment on what the convention center is doing.
But
I can tell you, however, that if you believe there's a violation of the ADA, you have the right to file that complaint.
I did, and I have paperwork from the Disability Rights in New Jersey, which I will personally fax it to you. The complaint that I have at home in my filing cabinet. Come on, they would, Come on, this, please do something about it. And, the Edison Police Department can make their ticket quarter in 1 month down there in parking violations. I mean, come on. No offense to the Edison Police Department. I mean, back to blue, but, but thanks for letting me dump it out, and y'all have a good night now, you hear?
Thank you.
Or maybe some dumb country plowboy from Monmouth County, but I know the law.
Okay.
Council President, this
yes.
has come up. Can we get the email to our attorney? Because I did talk to Lou about handicapping this. Depending on when it was built, and there's a whole bunch of things with the law. And so I don't really know if they're in compliance. Like I could tell you they're not in compliance to today's standards. And I don't know that if they applied for another permit, they'd be required at that point to bring it up to compliance. But if we can get the email like over to the attorney with the complaint originally, maybe he can look into it.
Councilman, are you asking me to investigate for a private citizen whether their complaint has validity or not? Or are you asking me to act on behalf of the Township of Edison, which I am commissioned to do? I wish you luck, sir. I will not be and cannot be your private attorney. If you send it to the clerk's office, I'll be happy to look at it. And to the extent that the township can do anything, I'm sure we'd be willing to do something. But I don't know when that building was built. I don't know what the standards and regulations were at that time. And frankly, I don't think it's fair for you to ask me to give a legal opinion based upon what we've heard tonight without any backup information. So I'm happy to look at it.
But right, the question wasn't for you to like sue them or anything like that. It was to take a look at his complaint to see if there's validity for something that the township should look into. I'm not quite sure that this is something, that we look into. Maybe we do look into it every year. Maybe the health department goes through and looks into it. But right, if somebody could just look into what his complaint was that he's filed.
My question is the Expo Center under the auspices of the township?
Oh.
Auspices of the township for what?
Well,
So
in
they
terms of,
needed
in,
to-
ter- in terms of enforcing enforcing violations that have to do with the Expo Center.
Council President, it's not that cut and dry. They needed site plan approval, I'm sure, before they got built from your planning board. They needed construction approval from your construction offices and permits and inspections. Do we annually inspect them for compliance? I can't answer that. If there is an ADA violation that is not generally within the jurisdiction of the township,
That's my question.
there are state and federal agencies who enforce those regulations. We try to ensure when buildings are approved, either through site plan or through construction, that they meet the ADA requirements. Do we follow up after those permits are closed out? I would think not. We don't have the enforcement on it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Vinnie?
I know Anthony was talking about security here. So we have, I think, an officer over here, and then we have an officer there, one over there, another one outside. I would love nothing more than to have maybe just one. Why do we need four? I mean, this building is attached to the police station, so if he called for backup, they'd be here like this, right? Just saying, I don't think we need 4 officers in this chambers. I know an officer said something about, well, we've had threats, like bombs and stuff. Well, I mean, 4 officers isn't gonna save you from a bomb. That's for sure. I wanna talk about the importance of transparency and accountability and the rights of the residents to know what's happening in their local government. We have seen some disturbing patterns emerging partners that raise serious questions about leadership, honesty, and responsibility. Let's talk about Sonia. We have reason to believe that she's actively seeking employment in other towns. Now, that's her right, but the people of this town deserve to know why. Is it because she sees the writing on the wall? Is it because she knows that the actions of the administration is too much for her to handle? Or is it simply, is she simply looking to get out before things come crashing down? Whatever the reason, the public has the right to know. Second, we need to address the legal maneuvers being used to block the public's access to critical information. There's an ongoing effort to prevent a deposition with Mayor Sam Joshi from coming to light. Why is it being hidden if there's nothing to hide? The residents of this town should not have to fight their own government for transparency they are promised. The legal system should not be used as a shield for those in power to avoid accountability. And we, the people, are paying for it to be hidden. How crazy is that? By their law firm with our money. And speaking of accountability, let's talk about the mayor's trip to Chicago. We need credit card invoices showing spending during that trip. The question is, what was the money spent on? Who approved it? And most importantly, was it to benefit the residents of this town, or was it for personal or political gain? Public funds belong to the people, not to politicians who think they can use it freely without explanation. We demand answers. We already know he reimbursed the town $20,000, but we don't know for what. For what? We have no idea. We can't get any information out of the administration. No documents on what officers were paid or the credit card statements. Finally, let's bring back the 6 minutes. It was taken away to silence the voices of the residents, and that's not how this government should operate. The people of this town have the right to be heard, and the 6 minutes is not much to ask. The attempt to limit public discussion is a direct attack on free speech and civil engagement, and we won't stand for it. Do we have any new information on the rape allegations against Mayor Sam Joshi? And it's time to stop hiding, and it's time to start answering. It's time for real leadership.
Okay. Mr. Scalzo.
My name is Scalzo. I work with Leroy Truth, and my contact information is scalzophoto.com. And as always, whenever people say racially insensitive remarks, I like to say I think the individual sounded foolish, but I'm glad Margot did not shut down the meeting or tell him to leave or anything like that. You respected his free speech to say racially insensitive things, so I appreciate that. In places like Woodbridge, they would shut it. They hate free speech over there. They shut it down immediately. You can't even directly criticize a politician. It's ridiculous over there. So actually, Edison has many advantages in terms of that. Because when people can speak freely, it's like a pressure valve, and it helps to solve problems. So let's see. First, I'd like to. We've had other town attorneys here that were extremely well. First, this particular town attorney I tend to like so far. Third impressions really, and he's much better than previous town attorneys. There's one guy in particular who is extremely rude, and he has these hissy fits and these temper tantrums, and he can't handle basic communication skills. So, and I think we all know who that individual is. So this particular gentleman is much better. He's a little robotic, but I'd rather have that than a temper tantrum, personally. So that's
Thank you, I think.
Anyway, so next topic is, I'll address the Chicago trip, the DNC, when Mayor, who I call Sleazy Sam Joshi, was doing his Comic-Con style politician fantasy camp, where he met all the big stars of political theater. Obviously, we, as Vinny addressed, it costs about $20,000, I believe, for 4 police officers to go, which I don't really understand why. Obviously, at first it was the taxpayer money, then he reimbursed it, but why would you waste your campaign money on 4 bodyguards? Why not 3? Why not 2? Most people have 0 bodyguards, and why would you just recklessly waste your own money or your campaign money? I don't really understand that. And was it Sam Joshi's idea to pay back the township, or did someone else have to tell him? The fact that I have to wonder about that is a problem. And the reason why I am suspicious is because he thought he could hijack the tax-paid attorney to hide the Glendale deposition video and even the transcript, which is kind of crazy. So I don't even think the thought of Sam Joshi, I don't think the thought entered his mind that he has to pay back the taxpayer for this Glendale issue. I mean, I don't see why the deposition would be hidden from Sam Joshi's bosses, which are the taxpayers. And because what is he talking about? I don't believe you have nuclear weapons here in Edison, so I don't see why anything would be kept secret. And last but not least, I'm limited on time. I wanted to speak about something involving Joe Coyle's comments last meeting. He kind of lost his marbles, but I'm going to go wait for next time. But a separate issue, 30 seconds. He made a comment similar to Christo's comment about, I don't even know if I'm going to bother reading it, but I'll wait for next time. It's basically the same exact comment that Christo was blamed for making a threat. Councilman Joe Coyle made the exact same comment, the exact same concept behind it, but it was not considered a threat. But I'll wait for next meeting to get into that. It's basically how if I'm out of time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, Mikey?
All right, good evening, council. Anonymous. Hopefully I don't need my gavel today. That was extremely disturbing what happened last time. Just as a little recap for everybody, that was the 3rd time that I was cut off by Councilman Coyle after he guaranteed me that he wouldn't do it. Unfortunately, he's not here today to interrupt me for the 4th time in a row. But these kinds of violations, I mean, Edison has become notorious for stifling the First Amendment. And if we can just, someone keeps track of the questions. Who is the ADA coordinator? Did Richard Brescher ever get an answer on the hill that supposedly was compliant? Also about the constitutional lawyer, did he ever get an answer on that? I'd like to know. When I leave the meeting, I see in the Edison, not trying to discourage or throw shade on the Edison police. A lot of these guys are cool, but the cars are running outside. Is there a certain amount of hours that they have to log on their computer where they otherwise would be patrolling? Is that why they're not patrolling as much? Because they're getting logged hours on vehicles that are running the whole time during the meeting? These are some issues. I really wanted to spend the whole 4 minutes addressing Joe Coyle, but he's not here, unfortunately. I have a tort claim here that I would like to submit, along with some pictures as a reminder of the flag ban. And when I even spoke, I said I referred to the prop ban as the flag ban, which is what he's been saying the whole time. I refer to it as a flag ban. I said those words and he jumped down my throat, violating my rights. He made statements that he is going to do it every single time. So he has expressed publicly a premeditation to continue to violate my First Amendment rights when this has been an ongoing issue with Edison. To correct, and I agree with Scalzo, I do like this attorney. Unfortunately, some of the things he says are incorrect. Newspapers are private. They're not government websites. Bronco versus Carteret says that these social media platforms are government public forums. So you're incorrect about that. You can't block comments on a Facebook page. Kelly Yade from Hamilton, she was sued, $40,000 the township had to pay, and they weren't even seeking punitive damages. It's just the principle about it. Can't disable comments, can't block members of the public. It's a government official page, these social media platforms. So hopefully you can catch up to speed with that awareness, because as a township attorney, especially coming from this law firm who has, I believe, actively done some of these things to create litigation to get paid on the back end. You know, they're playing tug of war with people's rights, and then they get paid on the rope when they go to litigate it. So I'd like to submit this tort claim. Joe Coyle has opened up the township to new litigation, new lawsuits, and he slandered me. He defamed my character. He made statements saying that I was coming here, putting me in a framework that I was in. My comments were designed to agitate the public and incite violence. That's slander, that's defamation, and all I was doing was exercising my First Amendment right. And I appreciate you, Council President Harris, for protecting my rights. When he called a point of order, the next words that came out of his mouth was, he shouldn't be doing this. The First Amendment, it's the First Amendment for a reason. It's protected for unfavorable things. So I'd like to submit this tort claim.
Marlena, do you want to take that? Thank you.
Council President,
Councilman Brescher?
I'm going to address the two things that were directed at me. Constitutional lawyer. Our attorney told me he doesn't know of anyone in particular. He said he's the one that's supposed to give us that advice. And we did speak about it, but he gave it to me in email format. I'm reaching out to, I think it's Dover. I'm going to have to talk to a couple people as to where I heard this or seen it. But they had a constitutional lawyer, is what I thought it was. It was somebody that was directing them on decorum and the whole type of thing. Well, I don't know which town it was, but I'm going to try and find that constitutional lawyer and recommend to this attorney that I'd like to speak to them. And the only reason why is this body has struggled over the last 3 and whatever years since we got the new mayor with this. And I've spoken to my colleagues about it. I've spoken at length about it. You know, it's trying to stop the Constitution is a hard thing to do. And a lot of, and the way judges interpret it is even more perplexing. They decide on the facts that are given at the time, irregardless of whether the second step would actually then be a violation. So that I'm going to look into, and I told our attorney I'd get him the name of that attorney. The ramp in the ADA. I did talk to our attorney about it. They believe that it was grandfathered in, except there was no ADA when the building was built at the time. But the building is required to have an ADA. What it turns out to be is our ADA compliance is the walkway underneath and the elevators coming upstairs. I asked him why it was shut down. He said it was done through the command of the police department, which would be the Mayor Sam Joshi. He technically is the head guy in charge, public safety official. Well, that's by law. But so I can only assume that he was the one that made the decision. I don't think a patrolman made the decision to secure the building that day, because they said that I said there were going to be thousands of people that are going to be here. I have to go through my email and text. I believe I was asked, you know, how many people were coming, and I probably said, I don't know, 20,000. You know, I got no clue. I didn't call 1,000 people. I didn't call 20 people. I didn't call anybody. But irregardless of that, you know, it was shut down. And whether that's the police chief or the public safety director, whoever made that, you know, recommendation, I'm looking into this, because from what I see is that they still have to maintain ADA requirements. Okay, so if they were going to shut off that opening, you can't use that ramp for it. And if that meant that they had to have the fire department here to carry people up and down, then that's a requirement that they would have to have. Okay, they just can't close it off. What bothered me that night, and I would I would think the chief of staff and BA should look into this, was we were locked outside, and the officers, when I asked, I mean, forget about them saying I brought everybody here. So whoever that officer was, to be honest with you, I think he was nuts. Not to think it wasn't the flag band, but it was me that brought everybody here. But I was told that the elevators didn't work. And then I watched a construction worker come out of the elevators. Somebody working on the fire alarm system. It was an electrician of type. Right, so I know that the elevators did work. I just didn't understand the premise of public safety of shutting off downstairs as opposed to locking this. Downstairs is pretty, you're almost corralled in where you could only kind of go up, to here. I'd like to get a reasoning as to why they did that.
I believe the township attorney provided in terms of the public safety decision aspect of it. I can speak for myself. I came down at about 6:45, I believe, or 6:45 to when the meeting started, and I did indicate to the public safety folks to open the doors and let the public in, being that there was a larger crowd and people are anticipating to come in due to the weather. So I believe about 10 minutes before the start of the meeting, people were then brought in.
Right. No, yeah, my question was, they locked off the downstairs. Anybody that's been into this building here, you can come in this right over here, right? And you are right by council chamber. But if you're downstairs at the entrance, there's only one way to go up, and it's the staircase right there, which is the same distance roughly to that metal detector. You know what I mean? So there really is no difference. So I'm wondering who in public safety, the mayor, the chief, whoever, who came up with the idea that we should close off downstairs that had this ADA access, as opposed to maybe close off these doors up here and funnel everybody in downstairs.
Again, as the attorney indicated, this was a public safety decision, so I would just refer to that.
Well, okay, right, and I guess that's part of the stymieing part here. When we say public safety decision, ultimately the mayor is the public safety director, correct? Does anybody
Councilman, you know the answer to that.
What would be the answer, Council
The answer,
President?
he's the public safety director.
Then the public safety director did not allow ADA compliance and lock people out of this building to stand in the rain that day. So it's the mayor. I guess that's where we went. And thank you for taking months for us to get to the handicap compliance, to cover up for another one of the mayor's blunders here in Edison. And then he wonders why people come here and they voice their opinion. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Do we have an answer on who the ADA coordinator is?
That's typically the engineering department.
So that would be Brian Piccirillo?
That's our current acting township engineer.
Okay, all right, thank you. I don't think we're at liberty to be answering that question. I don't think we're at liberty to be answering that. Thank you. All right, Russ?
Russ Azzarello, Schuyler Drive, Edison. Good evening, council members. I'm going to start off with, now I didn't go to, remember the Evelyn Wood speed reading? I didn't go to Evelyn Wood speed talking. So this 6 minutes to 4 is ridiculous. It's already been acknowledged. Edison is growing. Edison is growing. Traffic, crime, there's good, there's bad. You can't possibly expect somebody that's not a professional speaker to get up here in front of everyone and speak whatever their concerns, praise, or complaints are in 4 minutes. It's ridiculous and it's shameful. Public safety should be paramount to this administration. Pertaining to traffic and accidents, the Edison Fire Department, the Edison Police Department are doing a great job, phenomenal job. Last Saturday, right on my block, I say my block, it's not, but I live on Schuyler Drive, Route 27 and H Mart, there's an accident every other day. And this accident, on this past Saturday, the fire department were there. They were blocking the traffic, helping with traffic in both directions until the two patrol cars came. So Edison Police, I wonder, does Edison Fire and Edison Police have the proper manpower with the growing concerns and the growing problems that Edison has? I want to make sure that they have the ample number of police and fire to do the job that we deserve and respect, you know, that the Edison residents pay for and deserve. There's traffic, the traffic's horrendous, the accident's horrendous. 3 weeks ago, I had a car, there was a two-car accident, one car went into my fence at my work location. I asked, I don't know how many times at these meetings that we do a traffic study. New Jersey 101.5, News 12, they've said that Middlesex County is now doing a traffic study on Route 1, Route 27, Route 18, Route 9. Why didn't we initiate that? Why didn't we beat them to the punch? And I would like to entertain and invite all the council members, including my South Edison neighbor, Councilman Shmuel, that we do some type of networking with citizens and get involved in this traffic study. We know where the accidents are. We live in Edison. We work in Edison. We live in South Edison. I don't know, half the time I'm calling 911, I'm helping, I'm assisting before the police get there. I'm already there. You know, let's get involved and know what's going on and have the answers and help with Middlesex County to make sure that they don't live here. They don't know what's going on. We can help them. You know, let's get some type of a panel with citizens, concerned citizens that live in that area that maybe could be of some positive input. The Nixle alert, I think that's a great idea. We should see about getting that upgraded and let people know in Edison there's a traffic accident on Route 27, so you can avoid that accident and the traffic. If there's a break-in, keep them, people in that neighborhood could keep their eyes and ears open. Also, go back to 6 minutes. What's the update, costs, and dates of completion for the Tote Building on Idlewild Road, to the Stelton Community Center, to the sports facility on Central Avenue, to what's going on with the seniors, the Veterans Monument and the beautification. Is there a new qualified DPW at hand?
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you.
You need my
I just
notes?
want to respond to the fact that I'm still trying to find someone to head up the Resident Advisory Committee, which would include things such as your concerns about South Edison. We would have representatives from South, Clara, and North, and so I'm just trying to find out who I can get on council to lead that subcommittee. There was a question, this would be for you, Captain and Chief, about is there enough man and woman power in your departments for these car accidents which require your services?
Yes, so in terms of the accidents, listen, the accidents, we have day shift, afternoon, and midnight squads. Accidents happen when they happen. However many officers are needed to support for the actual accident report, for traffic support in the area, that's who we deploy to those scenes. When the accidents happen, I can't speak to if we have several officers tied up on other investigations or jobs or assignments. So to say that we don't have enough at a specific time is really difficult to determine. I'm not really sure what you're asking for. All year round, day by day, I'm not really sure what the question is.
Okay, all right. Russ, you asked about the completion for Toth, the sports, seniors, vets monument. That's a lot right there, right? And so I wonder if we can, can you give just a brief update on that, Sonia, on those Toth, sports, seniors, and vets monument?
Council President, if you could just provide that list, I will gladly email you in detail exactly what the updates are.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Russ. Anyone else from the public? All right, motion to close sorry? Oh, wait, AJ, were you up here already for, you weren't? Okay, come on up.
I was here for the ordinance and the resolution, but I didn't have no chance to speak.
That was so
Ben
long
from
ago.
Edison, New Jersey. Do I have the floor, Council
You
President?
do have a floor.
Thank you very much, and the clock begins. Lovely. For starters, I would like to have the 6 minutes to go back for real. Like, I feel like people should have more time to speak and have more continued dialogue. Now, this also brought to my attention, I guess we all know about the home invasions that happened recently, and I just seen on the news that they just arrested the 2 suspects were in connection into it. So, Captain, please tell the chief my congratulations for the chair to the captain of the police department, to the chair, to the captain, right? Okay. Second of all, with this, I'm glad that this bill was introduced because it says in the article, the bill was introduced and it got passed because of, we've been seeing a lot of crime in Edison, and it's sad. It's really sad. It's sad for me talking about it. I just really don't understand the people who want to just commit crimes, and please stop. This is not the town you do not want to mess with. Okay, you're lucky that the homeowner didn't just blast the person right on site. I know in Texas, I just seen a video. If you're a truck driver and you're staying at the truck driver stops, you get the green light. If anyone tries to open up one of your truck doors and stuff, they can just blast you right on site. People just need to stop messing with their Edison residents. And speaking about home invasions, it's kind of funny because this happened, on March 2nd. And then, let me pull up my calendar for a second. This just happened not that long ago, and then you guys got the guy yesterday, if I'm corrected on that. Now, where's my calendar? Last Thursday, on March 6th, speaking about break-ins, we had a celebrity got broken into, and then the next day she had to fly out to Los Angeles to Georgia, the state of Georgia. Her name is Danielle Bagoli, known as Cash Me Outside, Bad Baby. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because she just, I feel like these home invasions are happening not just here in Edison, but everywhere, every second. It just concerns me nationwide that people need to stop doing this. I would like to get the statistics of how, every hour, minute, second, day of, even Mr. Brett, you said something about statistics, about crimes like this. I would like to see that, especially in New Jersey, because this is very concerning. So going into Bad Baby, I'm going to say something. I am featured on her new song called OG Crash Out. It is correct. I am the first, you can say, in this township on a 11-second introduction track of my voice. And I don't want to say the words because try to keep it G, try to keep it professional, but you know the words. Just don't say it, because Bad Baby's gonna do what Bad Baby's gonna do, and there's nothing you're gonna do about it. She's gonna keep winning. This township's gonna keep winning. I wanna bring this girl here in Edison. If we can make that happen, I need everyone to please stream that song, OG Crash Out, and please add me on Instagram, Team Benz 17, TEAMBENZ 17. Thank you, and let's go Edison.
Thanks, AJ. Okay, anyone else? All right, motion to close the public portion?
Council President, before
Yes.
we close oral petition, I want to recognize the passing of Harold Jaffe of
yes.
Harold's
Yes.
Deli. Oh, go ahead, please. It was your idea. Go
Come on
for it.
up, Andy. Come on up, Chief.
Chief Toth. I asked him, I didn't know if he was going to do it or not, but Harold Jaffe owned Harold's Deli in Edison, and countless township employees, citizens, whether we had fires, Harold would call his communications through the township and always put his foot forward to help us, whether it was in a time of death, happiness. He did fundraisers for the town. I believe he got the key to the city back in 1998 or something like that. And Harold was, I think he was a veteran. He was a Marine boxer. He was part owner of the Carnegie Deli. He opened like 40-something delis, but he was a mentor to me for years. And a lot of other people between police, fire, health, and the township, the different administrations. I just wanted it to go on record that Harold will be missed by the township. Sorry for interrupting you.
Thank you, Chief.
His iconic deli.
Yep.
Just to add on to what the chief said, his iconic deli put Edison on the map. Incredible place. Wherever I go, and I say I'm from Edison, people ask me if I've been to Harold's Deli. Unfortunately, it's not glot kosher, but he will be missed.
Thank you very much. Okay. Motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close.
Second.
Thank you very much. All right, we are going to be going into closed session regarding litigation. Clerk, could you read the closed session resolution into record?
Whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meeting Act provides that the public may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Council during this meeting enter into discussion for the following matters: litigation to be discussed in the closed session or remain in district of confidence by all council members and the fiduciary duties to the township. Now, for be resolved, discussions discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when reasons for discussing and acting upon them no longer exist.
Okay, can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Okay, very good. And this, for the public part, would conclude the public part. We will be in for a while. As a matter of fact, do we need to have a motion to go past 10 o'clock for a closed session? Do we know, do we need to?
It's done.
Do we need to extend past 10?
Not for me.
Okay, all right. Okay, very good. All right, thank you, everybody.